Really, firstly, I'm very lucky because I'm the last one, because that means I have open time. The second thing, really, I'm very happy to be here in this important conference. My topic is the legal impact of attack on diplomats during the revolution. Firstly, what we mean by diplomacy. Diplomacy is a system of contact between the states, represented by negotiation between the agents of the states. Really, diplomacy in the 19th century, diplomacy was narrowly defined as a negotiation between the sovereign state. Another division is diplomatic agent. Diplomatic agent, what I mean by diplomatic agent, according to Vienna Convention, diplomatic agent is the head of mission or the member of staff of mission. Diplomat or ambassador is a person who presents his or her state in another state. States have always have to contact between each other. So diplomacy is the system for this contact, as I said, represented by negotiation between the agents. I'm going to speak to overview a little bit about my problem research, which is attack on diplomats. Attack on diplomats, it is not a new phenomenon. It is traced back to ancient world, that the life of the messenger was not safe. For example, we talk about ancient Rome. I hope the president of Rome is not here because I want to save my life firstly. Really, in ancient Rome was when another state want to contact with the Roma, they sent a messenger to Roma. What they do, they take this messenger as a hostage and start to contact with another state. Do you imagine how will be the contact with another state? They take hostage and then start to contact. So that means they were not serious with their diplomacy, with their contact with another state. That's because Roma was depend on their ability, on their military. They have strong military. So that's why in ancient Roma, I don't say that they never have a diplomacy relationship, but I'm looking for this point that in the ancient world was the attack on diplomats. Also in 1920 and in 1930, it was attack on diplomats. For example, in 1934, the king of Yugoslavia and the French foreign minister were killed in a terrorist attack. Also, according to survey in 1967, state that at least 13 diplomats or consul persons have been killed since 1947, include 5 American, 5 from Middle East, 5 from Vietnam, 1 British, 1 Spaniard, and 1 Turk, and 1 from Ethiopia. Also in 1970, 17 diplomatic agents were kidnapped, which was a clear signal to Western states that this group of people had become the favorite target of terrorists. From this point, from this overview of attack on diplomats, really we need the international world, the international law to deal with this problem, to deal with the protection of diplomatic. That's why international law started to enact convention. For example, Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations in 1963 and Vienna Convention on Consular Relations in 1963. Also, a large number of conventions which dealt with the terrorism, dealt with the protection of diplomatic. For example, the convention on the Convention Against Terrorism, which enacted in 1973, and also the Convention Against the Taking of Hostage was drafted in 1979. We have also the Sixth Committee of the United Nations General Assembly also attempted to deal with the terrorism, but instead of enacted convention, established an ADHOC Terrorism Committee. The best one was the declaration related to the protection of diplomatic persons, is the measures to eliminate international terrorism, 1994, by the United Nations General Assembly. This some photos from the last attack on diplomatic agent, which happened in Libya and Egypt. And this photo from Libya during the killed the ambassador, American ambassador Stephen. I think all of you hear about it. Ambassador Stephen killed during the during the revolution, Arabic Spring. So this is the photo from this event. Yes, sorry for America. The research problem. My research problem is states should respect international law. And what the international law say? International law say that the host state have to protect the diplomatic agent. However, during the revolution, the state cannot protect the diplomats of sending state. They cannot even keep their nationals. So how they can keep the ambassadors? That's because this we know is developing country. They have not strong military. So how they can do that? The main aim of this study is to suggest improved way which govern the protection of diplomatic agents, and also to establish the legally responsible parties of attack on ambassadors. My research question is, who undertake the responsibility to protect the diplomats? Who is responsible for attack on diplomats? And who is tasked to identify such responsibility? And also, which law we going to practice? It is domestic law or international law? Also, which courts have the justification? And finally, what are the reasons of these attacks and of lack in respect of international relations? Impact of research. This research important so far. No research has investigated this topic. That means I'm the first one searching this topic. The research should examine the history of diplomatic relations. Why? To show the significant role diplomacy has played in solving international conflicts. It will also help to determine, as I said, determine the parties' responsibility for attack on diplomatic agent and which law will apply. Methodology. I'm going to collect my data through the interview, through a qualitative approach. I'm going to use interview with some responsible person in the government. I hope I can do that with the Libya and Egypt. However, I failed to contact with Libya because nobody except to speak about this topic, never. So I'm now lose Libya. However, I'm try with Algeria instead of Libya. Why I use Algeria? Firstly, to speak about this topic and to identify the or determine who's responsible about this attack during the revolution spring, Arab Spring, and also to know the reason of this don't respect the relation between the state, because the Algeria managed a successful relationship during its revolution. Conclusion, to conclude my topic, really it is responsibility the host state to protect the diplomatic, and however, as I mentioned before, the host state cannot during the revolution cannot protect the diplomats, cannot protect their self, cannot protect their nationals, and this is the problem. Another thing, according to a report of Congress in 2013, stated that it is responsibility of U.S. also, in addition to host state, it is responsibility of U.S. to protect their ambassadors. Why? Because they have program, a great program, and they spend a lot of money to protect their employee in all the world. So they are responsibility as well, not just responsibility of Egypt or Libya to protect the ambassadors. Also, we can practice the international human law in 1949. Thus, during the armed conflict, diplomats has a protection. We deal with the ambassadors as a civil person. Thus mean any attack on ambassador it will be a criminal, international criminal. So it will be like another person, like the nationals. So it will be the ambassador will be a civil person. And this is my topic. Thank you for your listening. Just 1 minute. Can I just 1 minute more? Then in the end, I want to say, far from my topic, I want to say diplomacy is contact not just between the state, because we don't take just a political aspect. It is contact between the people. Look for yourself. When you speak with your family, when you talk with your children, you need diplomacy to change his mind or her mind when she or he ask or require some gain. So you don't have money. What you do? You will use the diplomacy to change his mind. Also, when you want to take permission in your work from your boss, what you will use? You will use diplomacy to make him accept your permission. Also now, as we are students, when we come to here, we want to take permission from our university and our supervisor. So you want to use diplomacy with our supervisor, with our dean of university, to say to him how much this topic is important, because some students they can't go because they haven't ability to contact to make them to show them how it is important, like this conference. I want to say also, I believe the best what we need nowadays, and I want to say for all the world, please forget the past and let us start again far away from the war. I'm bringing today the white flower to the ICD. White flower in my country, Iraq, is mean the peace. I don't know if it is the same mean in Germany or no. So I want to give it to ICD, this flower, which is mean, which will speak more than me, which will explain about the peace. And I think it is the honest hand to take my flower, which explain the peace, is the ICD, special Mr. Mark. Thank you.